Hey, everybody. This is Office Space.
Office Space.
Office Space.
Office Space.
Office Space.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Office Space. You guys know who we are. It is good to see you. It's good to be back. Fellas, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
That's good.
All right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Glad you're doing well. Not doing good. Just,
You know what I love
buying
about
groceries,
Dave?
staying alive.
Barely buying groceries. Barely staying alive.
That's the truth.
You know what I love about Dave? He's a man of many words. Watch this. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
So, gentlemen, it is almost Valentine's Day.
It is.
It is.
You guys have any special plans? Anything for the wife, for the missus?
Well, I'm not going to reveal my secrets here, but I do have a couple little things planned. So, yeah.
That's awesome. My secret is I don't have one. So there's not, I haven't really planned much. But I'm usually like that, though. I'm kind of like a spur of the moment type of person, which is not good. Sometimes it works out really, really well.
Yeah.
Other times not so hot.
So you have no plans. You have some, but you don't want to reveal them.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And right now I can see Chelsea sitting on the couch going.
It'll be, she won't even watch it until after Valentine's Day, so it'll be fine.
I have plans. I don't mind revealing. I mean, they're nothing. Like, we're going to go to dinner and stuff. We got a babysitter. And
that's fine.
shout out to the in-laws if you guys, I don't even know if they watch this. But, yeah, we're going to go to dinner. Nothing too fancy or special. We got reservations.
Very cool.
Do you guys ask your wives to be Valentines? Or is it just assumed? Or do you guys...
See, it would probably be like a romantic, sweet gesture,
right?
If I did. But I don't know that I have. I think that'd probably be a good idea. I probably should do something like that. Yeah.
What about you, Dave?
Funny you should ask that question because I don't, but, we just start talking about, hey, I ask her, what do you want for Valentine's Day? And I guess that's just kind of assuming that she's going to be my Valentine, but to actually go to all the effort, which I've seen someone else do, and making a sign and asking, then the answer would be, no, I have not done that, but I totally would do that.
Yeah, I did not ask that question because I wanted to pat myself on the back for, for going all out this year and asking my wife to be my Valentine. I just some of us are romantic, some of us aren't. It's okay.
Hey,
it's true.
I'm learning from it, man. It's great.
I'm really happy for you.
No, I'm just kidding. What's funny is, so I'm making my Valentine sign to ask my wife, kind of like the old school prom. Will you go to prom with me? Signs.
Exactly.
I'm doing it after work on a whatever. It was on your guys' anniversary, which was hilarious.
Correct.
So I'm making a sign. Heather sees it, and she's like, oh, my gosh, that's the sweetest thing. Dave. And she's like, Aaron's getting all the Valentine's points.
Yeah.
And it's their anniversary. But you're a romantic guy because your wife went home to 24 roses.
Right.
Not just one, 24 roses.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was great because we had just been there watching you, getting all the points, and she walks in the door and she sees the 24 roses and she turns around and she goes, you get all the points too. And I'm like, yes. And so
wait, we both got all the points?
Who won?
How do we both get all the points?
Well, I'm in last place. So.
Yeah, well.
So Valentine's I don't know. Do you guys like celebrate? Like, do you guys like Valentine's Day? Is it just like, is it important to you or is it not? I'll put you on the spot. Let's be honest.
It's important. Yeah. I mean, it's important that.
It's important because your wife's watching.
Well, yeah. I mean, plus, it's a good time. I mean,
I don't know. Like, yeah, I believe that it's important, but I also think that it's important to show my wife that I love her more than just one time a year or like on her birthday and stuff. So I, not trying to pat myself on the back, but I do try to, like, if I go drop the kids off, one of her favorite things, coffees, is from Human Bean.
Oh yeah. What's your order?
An extra hot caramel mocha something. I have to be there to, you know what I mean? I have to like pull
thing.
up. I have to like pull up. You asked me right now, I can't do it. If I was to pull up, then I could do it. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
Caramel hazelnut mocha.
Mm.
It's an extra hot caramel hazelnut mocha. And
Okay.
they have the little coffee bean they put on top. And so I'll get her one of those and bring it home. Or every once in a while, just because it's a Tuesday, I do go get her a card and the flowers and stuff. Like I do stuff like that. Not patting myself on the back.
No.
I do think, honestly, to answer your question, I do think that maybe it's a little over commercialized a little bit. To me, it just is. It's kind of like how like maybe even Christmas was. I mean, you think about Christmas, that even before Christmas was all about a big fat guy in a red suit. Obviously it's about Jesus, but you know, Saint Christopher, you know, everybody knows the story. They drop off the presents and it's the priest that did it. But before he was ever the jolly fat man in a red suit, they had dressed him in all green and kind of looked like what we would consider an elf.
Oh.
And then Coke takes Santa Claus, rebrands him, and turns him into this giant fat guy with a white beard that goes, and it was all to sell a product.
But to be fair, like a jolly fat man is much with a beard and like that grandpa look is much more lovable.
Oh, for
than
sure.
some creepy elf in green, right?
No, yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So Coke did it right.
Yeah. What do you, are you a Coke guy or a Pepsi guy?
I'm a Pepsi guy.
Really?
Yeah, Pepsi.
No, I'm a Coke guy. Like I'm definitely a Coke guy.
So we had a little bit of this conversation off air already, and I made a claim. Okay. I said that I can not only tell the difference between like Coke and Pepsi, Coke guy, by the way, but not only tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi, but I said that I could tell the difference between like Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Coke, Diet Coke, different types of like root beers, Sprites, or whatever.
Yeah, that's
not just said it, but said it with
said it in
confidence.
He said he goes absolutely 100%. If you put down even different brands of root beer, I could tell you the different brands of root beer.
I do.
Yeah, no.
So
there's no.
So I'm a big guy. I would say chubby is accurate. Certainly not fat, but chubby. You don't get chubby by not drinking soda, guys. Now, I haven't been drinking soda in a while, so I could be rusty, but I did. I said I'm very confident that I could do that, and so they challenged me.
Yeah, we did. And out of this challenge, we have this brand new segment for the Office Space podcast called Challenge Accepted. Any one of us can challenge the other person.
Yeah.
And if they accept the challenge, then we air and record what the challenge was. And there will be a consequence and a reward. Like if you get it wrong, you accept the challenge. Full blown said, I could do it 100%. Well, if you lose, then there's a consequence for that.
So full disclosure, I did accept the challenge. I have no idea what the consequence or the reward will be, but they have set up a challenge for me to taste test blind these different sodas, and if I get them right, and from my understanding, there's going to be a total of 15.
There's going to be 15 in 3 different stages. Each stage in varying degrees of difficulty.
Okay.
So the first stage is going to be 5 different sodas that are vastly different.
Okay.
Very easily.
You're
like it's the difference between biting into an apple and biting into a banana. Like you're going to get that. That's vastly different.
Got it.
The second one, they're varying sodas, but they're sodas that are supposed to taste similar. Like, can you taste the difference between individual diet sodas represented by different companies? You know what I mean? Like a difference between like a Diet Pepsi and a Diet Coke.
Sure, and there's 5 of those as well.
And there's 5 of those as well.
Okay.
And then the last one, we got 5 different types of root beer.
Come on.
And he has to be able to tell us the difference. Like, that's Mug, that's Barks, that's A&W, that's Dad's.
So if it was, I don't know, and I don't know really what the brands are, but if there was those 3 right there by themselves, I feel confident. If you add 2 though, if you add 2, I used to say, I used to literally say I'm a root beer connoisseur. I swear. I used to say
I'll get
those
a
exact
T-shirt made.
words.
Says root beer
Because, no,
connoisseur.
at Bevmo, they have the variety pack of root beers.
Yes, that's
and
true.
we would get those every year. I used to say, it's funny that you said that because I actually said that. But what I'm worried about in that round, what I'm worried about is if it's like A&W and some brand that I'm not sure of that tastes like A&W, I might call that one A&W. You know what I mean? There's
okay.
Let's
I
hope
can
so.
see
Let's
that.
hope so.
I
Let's
can
but if
start praying that we do hear that. Aaron, understanding the rules and the regulations of this challenge, do you accept?
challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
Okay, so we're not going to reveal what the consequence or whatever that is. But I'm trying to think of the word that we were using earlier, and I can't. Not consequence.
Penalty or well, I don't know.
Punishment. Whatever. Yeah. Whatever.
Punishment. Sure.
Yeah. But we are going to let you know, and we told you earlier, and I think we're going to stick with it, that if he gets these right, then his reward for accepting the challenge and overcoming the challenge is we will take him out for lunch one day to Cool Hand Luke's and treat him to whatever he wants on the thing. And Dave and I will split the ticket for whatever you want from Cool Hand Luke's.
Yeah, I
as
feel
long as it's-
confident in this as well. So.
But so there's 15 samples that I'm going to take.
Mm-hmm.
How many out of the 15 do I have to get it right to be like, okay, you know your stuff? Because obviously 15 is a lot.
Okay, but we did talk about this beforehand.
Yeah.
Is that the first 5 or a give me?
Okay.
Because, dude, that's just, they're so vastly different.
I
You're
agree.
going to get it.
I agree.
most all of us probably could do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many?
What did we say?
13 out of 15.
If you get 13 out of
Correct.
15, correct. Then okay, sounds good.
Okay. And then if I don't,
If you don't,
I don't get to know what
you don't get to know what it is until after. And then this is the thing.
I don't trust these guys.
This is the thing. This is the thing. In order to see Pastor Aaron's punishment and the consequence for accepting a challenge that he did not complete,
Yeah.
we will film it and it will air on the next Office Space podcast.
Okay.
Yes, it
it'll
will.
air on the next Office
So
Space
for
podcast.
Yes,
your
it will.
entertainment, if I don't get at least 13 right, we're going to film it. We're going to post it. You'll have to tune into the next podcast, the next Office Space, to see what that is.
Yep.
But you guys already know what the punishment is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And,
yeah, we do.
and if you guys are watching right now and you know the intercessor number, you can put it on the feed right now that we get to see the punishment because it would be so good. So
I'm really excited
All right.
about this.
And then if I do get it right and we go out to lunch whenever, and I'm going to film a sick selfie video of me just
tearing up. Lobster
going to
tail.
town on my steak or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to film you guys paying for it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
that is the agreement.
That's
All
the
right.
agreement.
Well, then without further ado, challenge accepted. All right. So I can't see a thing. Just,
That's good.
yeah, we're rolling, right?
Yeah, we're recording.
Yeah. So I can't see a thing. There are 5 sodas in front of me. You guys see what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go one by one, and I'm going to kind of talk out loud. I'll be away from the mic, but I'm going to kind of try to work it out, and then I'll submit my final
Okay.
choices.
Yeah,
All right?
that works. Yeah. Perfect.
That sounds great.
All right.
Clearing the palate.
one for one.
Yeah, so I called that one Sprite.
Okay.
All right, so Coke, Dr. Pepper. I think I said that was Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what I said?
Yes.
And then that would be Pepsi. Yeah, that's so disgusting. That's Pepsi.
I agree with you. Yeah.
So am I 5 for 5 on that?
Yeah, you're 5 for 5. Yeah,
Wow.
you're 5 for 5. Good job. 5
Let's
for 5.
go.
Can we start praying harder out there? Come on. This is
Round 2.
wow.
All right, so Here's my just so you guys know what I'm thinking. Like a flat Pepsi kind of tastes like a Diet Pepsi. And that last Pepsi was pretty. I just hate Pepsi.
Yeah, I don't like Pepsi at all.
Sorry, Pepsi, they're not a sponsor. Let's we'll give it a shot. Here we go.
Round 2, fight.
Did you guys mix these?
Nope,
We did not.
we didn't.
We gotta win fair and square.
This,
I mean,
this coming from the guy who goes, I can taste the difference. The subtle hints.
I know we have Pepsi. Unless you guys lied.
No.
We have Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Coke, Diet Coke, or something else.
correct.
I'm guessing
Correct.
it-
That's true.
That's true.
I'm guessing a Coke Zero because that first one tasted like really, really close. All right. I might just fail on this round.
Yes,
So
this is
hang
gonna
on.
be.
Hang on, let me go back.
This is gonna be good right now.
Diet Pepsi and Pepsi. Okay. Don't tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah, no,
Because-
good.
I'm gonna say that's Coke.
Okay.
That would mean one of these has to be Diet Coke, and the other one is some weird flavor.
Oh, man.
Diet Coke.
Okay.
Some Coke Zero flavored Coke.
Okay.
Those are my answers.
Agreed.
Agreed.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go to round 3.
Okay. Now this is the root beer challenge. This is the root beer challenge. This is the one that he is a self-proclaimed root beer connoisseur.
Yeah.
And so we will see how well he does with this.
And just full disclosure, I still taste every single one of those nasty sodas. So we'll see how this goes.
That's a great start to this final round.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought right off the bat, could be wrong, tastes like Barks to me, but maybe
Okay.
it's just because I can't see it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
that is so good. I don't know what it is. It's not a normal root beer that I taste normally, but I would buy that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoever you are, sponsor this podcast. Almost has like a cream kind
Really?
of kick to it. Yeah.
Well, root beer has a lot of vanilla in it.
Classic. That's a classic.
So classic, you can't know. You don't know what
But well, because some of them, I mean, could be A&W, could be Mug, but A&W has like a sweetness
Mhm.
that Mug does not. So a lot of these are too close to call. I'm gonna lock in Barks.
Okay.
You gonna write that down, or you guys gonna?
So 1, 2, 3, 4. You wrote down as Barks.
This is Barks. Not sure if that's Mug. I'm going to say, I'm going to say mug and A&W.
Okay. So 5 is mug, 3 is A&W.
This is a piece of heaven, and I'm not sure. I thought originally this was I'm not a fan of this one. I liked it when I first drank it because I just had all that nasty stuff.
Yeah.
But going through this lineup, this is the worst out of all of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure yet. That's like it's not. That can't just be a straight root beer. There's no way that's just root beer. It has to be like a vanilla root beer or like a cream. But I don't know what brand that would be. I'm gonna say this is where I was nervous because I had to get all of them right to be able to miss 2 here. And I don't know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Dad's just because I don't know.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to this is gonna be a wrong one because I can't place it. But it's good. Whatever it is, it's delicious. So that's final. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
You don't know what it is?
Okay. All right. Well,
How'd I do on these?
on these, okay, I'll give it to you on this.
I'm impressed.
I am pretty impressed. I am, and I don't think that I cheated.
Oh, here we go. I knew it.
I don't think that I cheated, but I think what I did, I was the one that went and bought all the root beers, okay? I went and bought all the root beers because he was saying how much of a connoisseur of root beer he was.
True.
I switched it up a little bit. So if you want to, you can come around
right.
and see what I did. So the 2 ends are both mugs because you said you're a connoisseur. Well, he should be able to taste the same. This, I couldn't find Dad's. And so I got one to where he could have said, that's not root beer. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's much did.
And you pretty much said, that's not root beer. So I'll give you that one because you were like, that it could be, but it's not root beer. It's like a vanilla thing.
All right, so I still feel good about that. Like I failed, and I'm gonna have to.
I
Have
feel
this
good
you
about
did.
it too.
No, yeah, I feel fantastic about it.
I know, I'm sure you guys do, but
I ain't got to spend no money.
I definitely. So I got 10 out of 15. So I didn't get the 13 out of 15.
Right.
Couple takeaways. Soda's disgusting. It's just nasty. Root beer is fantastic. Josh will always find a way to just at least touch the border of cheating. He might not go all the way across.
I think so.
You gave me 2 root beers that were the same one, and one of them wasn't a root beer.
Okay, but the only reason why is because you said I am a connoisseur of root beers.
Connoisseur.
And so if I was a connoisseur of something, if something is something, like
pro.
if I knew that it was root beer, then I can say that it's root beer.
Okay.
If it's not, then I can say that it's not.
But based on just the root beer round alone, which got us all into all of this, am I a connoisseur of root beer?
You know what? I'm going to say you were very sniper-like.
Yeah, you did really well.
You had this strange Dr. Pepper cream in there, and you were all over that thing. Like, wow.
I appreciate that. So,
props.
Is this then where you guys tell me what my punishment is?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, there will. What there will not be is a trip to Cattleman to Cool Hand Luke's and having it.
If we were talking about Cattleman's,
we were talking about Cattleman.
No, I'm saying if we were,
that'd be different.
I would have found a way to cheat myself.
So that's what you're not having.
Okay, so what's going on?
Well, we were texting back and forth last night, and it was unanimous that the punishment would be lip syncing to Little Mermaid's song "Kiss the Girl"
in honor of Valentine's Day.
Okay. Okay. So what is this? How do I do this?
So we're going to create a scenario.
Okay.
And you have to lip sync it. He says bus stop poetry and stuff like that. I think that's not what we need to do. I think it almost needs to be a combination of both, to where I can have my Bluetooth speaker.
Okay.
And I can blare Kiss the Girl, and we will have you do it at a bus stop. We're going to have him do it at a bus stop. And be like, hey, guys, everybody at the bus stop, before your bus gets here, we have a performance for you today. He's going to sing Kiss the Girl in honor of Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I think that's
so good. What a Valentine's Day gift to us all, right? Wow.
So I lost all dignity and shame a long time ago. So I will do that.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about it. More than anything, you know what I get? I don't get ashamed, I get irritated.
Yeah. I'll
We're
tell
gonna
you
go
what,
spend time out of our day, and we're gonna go down to a bus stop.
You know what?
I was trying to take it out of.
I feel your pain.
I can feel Pastor Bean goes, people are dying and going to hell every day, and you guys are out here singing Kiss the Girl.
Maybe after our performance, we'll witness to something.
It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good.
Yeah. All right. And so for you guys to see this performance of Kiss the Girl at a bus stop, you guys have to tune into our next podcast. And right?
Yeah, next podcast. Right. Yeah.
Thank you to the intercessors for praying. The Lord answers prayer.
Okay. All right. So back to Valentine's Day.
How do we even transition out of that?
Yeah, how do we transition out of that? Since we're talking about Valentine's Day, and then I made the comment about how it was kind of commercialized from what it originated from. We had talked about that, and then we looked into where did Valentine's Day originate from?
Right.
Like, what is that from? And it's actually Saint Valentine. He was a Roman priest, like a Roman Catholic priest, right? That was actually martyred for the cause of Christ. He was martyred for his beliefs in Christ. And that kind of spurred a question in me, maybe coming out of what we're talking about, going into something a little bit serious. How do we love people? I mean, obviously, Saint Valentine's had a love for people. He had a love for the Lord. In order to take what you believe to the point of death, that's a very serious thing. And from that martyr, now we have what we have now, this commercialized holiday. But it all started with a very simple truth that he loved the Lord and he was willing to be martyred for that cause. So, as leaders, a question that I was kind of thinking and posing to you is, how do you love people? Like what?
Yeah, that's a very real thing, by the way, as we were looking into that, and Saint Valentine giving his life for the love of Christ, and that's very real. And then out of this comes what we know as Valentine's Day, and we give up things that we love for our wives, and I for number one, I think that's very special. I did not know that until we started talking about it, where it actually originated and came from. But, we love our wives now, and we mostly give up money. in a way, we give up money, but more than that, you want to let them know, as you said earlier, how much you love them, and thanking them for, being your Valentine. And it's just a great way to honor the life of a very good man. And, it's a good tradition.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I agree with all of that. I think loving people as a leader is something that you have to intentionally do.
Absolutely.
I often find myself kind of busy and on the go, and people call, text, stop you in the hall or whatever it might be, and you have a very real choice. And at first I used to feel guilty about that, like part of me is like, I really need to get to that thing or go finish that thing or go do that thing. And I started to kind of feel guilty, like, Aaron, how come you don't like want to stop and talk longer or whatever? But then I would find myself doing that very thing, stopping and talking longer and listening. And then I kind of just like, you know what? No, like, kind of good for you. Like, you're choosing to put that person first.
Absolutely.
And to stop kind of time in your agenda because you actually do care about those people.
Right.
As you know, speaking as a leader. And I think the other another part that I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing as a leader through, you know, in terms of loving people, is giving them room to grow and to fail. You know, letting people take ownership over whatever it is that, you know, if it's here at the church, you know, ministries that they're over, if it's in other areas of my life, you know, where it applies. But sometimes, and God does this with us, right? Like, he says, I love you, and I've given you this guideline to kind of to walk, and if you do this, you'll be fulfilled. But should you fail, there's grace. And should you fail, like he didn't turn like on these safety switches on our life, right? Where it's like he keeps us right in bounds, or like put these bumpers up on the bowling alley. Like we very easily can go into the gutter sometimes.
Absolutely.
And so, but yet he loves us and he leads us, you know, as good as one can lead. And so, I don't know. I think just intentionally, the Bible says that those that know to do right and don't do it, for him it is sin. And I think there's some things that we know as leaders that we need to do, and doing those things I think is a good thing, even if sometimes we don't want to.
Right. That's good.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to loving people, I think it can be very different and very almost kind of difficult at times. Not necessarily to love people, but it can be difficult to love people. Sometimes, if we're just being honest, some people just like really are hard to love and hard to get along with, even, you know. And that's what's funny, is it's not necessarily even maybe something against the person, but as much as we're leaders, we're just as human as everyone else, and it can be very difficult to be like, bro, I love the guy, and I remember Pastor Tim saying something a few years ago. He goes, I hate the statement, I love him, but I don't like him.
Yeah.
And I used to say that until I remember that coming back to my mind, and I was like, yeah, that's very true, because if I love someone, then there should be this part of me that will put away, like, man, you get on my nerves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I have to put that away, and I can be like that at times, to where I'm very I can get along with anybody, and we can go have fun, we can do all that stuff, but I have a very, very select few people around me that I can do, like, you know, I love them. Like, that's my core, that's the people, that's them. And that's something that God's broadening in me a little bit. And one thing that about that is, I used to think that somebody didn't love me if they were critical of me in any way, if they were harsh towards me in a way, if they did anything. And in thinking about this right now, it reminds me of a shepherd.
Yeah.
A shepherd loves his sheep. Right.
That's a good analogy.
A shepherd absolutely loves the sheep. Maybe not. I'm not talking about the shepherds nowadays where you're on like a razor and you're like chasing sheep and, you know, throwing them. But there was a point in time in history where there was a very real relationship with the sheep. Shepherds would have a very real relationship, to the point that if a sheep would keep wandering away, they would hobble the sheep. What they would do is they would actually break a leg,
right?
And it could no longer. It would stay. It would produce. It would do everything that it was supposed to do there, but its wandering mentality was dealt with because it couldn't do it.
To that point, like, think about David when he said, like, when a lion or a bear would come and take the sheep, I'd go and break its jaw, you know, and rescue the sheep. Even at a young age, he was taught to be a good shepherd.
Exactly.
And go and full disclosure, like, I'm like, oh, see you later, sheep.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I ain't chasing a lion, you know.
A lion, yeah.
But he understood that there was a responsibility there, and that there was a level of care that he had to have for that sheep to be a good shepherd.
And that's goes right into what I was going to say, is that for me, we all have kids, right?
We do.
And we have said we discipline you out of love, even if it goes to, well, you know, you're going to have to get a whipping. You know, Trinity never got a whipping. It shows. But just kidding. I love Trinity. But now that I'm a father, I understand what that means.
Right.
And even now, there's times when people come up and say something. Like, I mean, I'm sure all of us have had people after service, after we're done speaking, come up and be very critical of what you say.
Not me. They're just like, I received that in full, brother.
Really? That's me. I've had some people come up to me and say things that
I can say that I've never had said to me what you've had said to you.
No, I've had some like
I don't know how I would respond.
Yeah, I've had some like really like crazy harsh things said, and in those moments I'm reminded of the love of the Father.
And that brings us to our new segment. Yeah. What'd she say?
I'm not gonna say, but I was like, oh wow. Like inside I was screaming, but I was like, yes. I know I received that. I was like, yeah.
But it reminds you of the love of the Father.
But it does remind me of the love of the Father, of that. Even in that moment, I agree with what this person said? Absolutely not.
Sure.
I thought she, not being arrogant in any way, but I thought she was so far out in left field.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I believe I delivered what the Lord gave to me, and with all of us, we understand there has to come a certain level of confidence in that, and that you have to have. And I did with what happened that day, and numerous other occasions. But then you have to allow the Lord through love to teach you in those situations, and then he was hobbling my tongue in that moment.
Oh, come on.
And he is saying, I'm gonna break your tongue. You can't say what you want to, because if you say what you want to, you're going to wander out of the will of the Father. Yep. She's going to wander out of the will. You guys are both going to create this offense. And it's the love of the Father doesn't only allow you to do what you want to do, but will almost say, I disallow you. I forbid you to doing you can do it if you want to, but I'm saying for you, it's wrong. Right. So you can't do that. And I think that's even back to St. Valentine, is he allowed himself to be hobbled in the ultimate way.
Yep.
And I think, and even with Christ, I mean, the love that he shows for us is so, maybe everybody else is has this on lockdown. I don't, can be very, very, very difficult to show the true love of Christ to someone else. For me, it is. It can be. It because he came and he died with the absolute knowledge he was going to be, risen from the dead.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What makes people hard to love? Like, what is it? And I don't mean like on an individual level, like, well, you're hard to love because you X, Y, and Z. Why do we find it hard to love people? Because it's not, and I like I think the heater just kicked on. I not in a like the shallow way of like I genuinely mean, like, what is it about us that won't, because we understand from Scripture love is a series of choices. Love is patient, love is kind, like all of these things that we have to walk in the Spirit and choose to perform, choose to do, their actions, the choices, not just like this fleeting emotion. What is it? Why is it so difficult for us to stop what we're doing or to put our desire aside? Because that's what it boils down to. We have something else in mind. We maybe we're offended or whatever it is. Why is it so hard to say, you know what, and then just look at that person as a creation from God, right? Like, you are deserving of love. Right. What is it like? Why is that so difficult for us? Do you think?
We're living in a world right now where a large percentage of the people that we are encountering or talking to are in parking lots and things like that, and they're not, in many times they're not trying to live up to the life that Christ has for them in the first place if they don't know him, and they're not, and so there is that. And then as you were mentioning about the Good Shepherd, I was remembering that Jesus said, well, I laid out my life for the sheep. He's like a hireling.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When trouble and difficulty comes. And I feel like that really is leadership right there, is that not when everything's going great. When people were having difficulties, you're there,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I have this shirt that just really says it maybe the best. It says, love people, be genuine, don't stop. And, you know, that's just it, is just being there, you know. I mean, not running when difficult times come, but being there. And I can say that, you know, I love our pastors, Pastor Tim and Pastor Kathy, because in this aspect, this is very true, that they are there for you. You know, good times, bad times, they're there. And that displays the true love of a shepherd. And
Absolutely.
it's a great,
I agree with
thing.
that 100%. I think what makes it difficult to love people? I don't know. I think I can be difficult to love. Like I'm not like we've said.
I think you guys could be difficult to love too.
Yeah. Get right back at you. But I think even Poison Kate, and I don't mean to make it all about me. I have somewhere I'm going there. You've said it, that even in like a simple conversation, I don't know why everybody thinks I'm aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Like I come off aggressive and I come off intense. I really don't mean to. And there's been numerous times we're just sitting there and I'll say something and then it's like the room is like, oh, and I'm like, what? And I don't mean to. And it's this thing that I'm learning about myself, and I never even understood that it was a thing until I started working here. And then I was like, oh, maybe that's why like certain things have happened. So I see where that is, but then in that I am learning that love isn't it's not an emotion and it's not a feeling. That with the intensity and things that some people see me, then they back away and they remove themselves from me, I have noticed that I'll do the same thing, and I'm making the same choice you're making. Fine, you want to text me, I'm not going to text you. You don't want to talk, I'm not going to talk to you. Like, fine, I don't need you. And I've realized that about myself. And then really in just the last couple of months, the Lord's really been dealing with me about what it really truthfully means to love people. And it's not flowers, and it's not hearts, and it's not fairy dust and unicorn farts. It is a decision. It is a choice that moves past your emotion. Emotions have to be involved in it.
Right.
But it's not every day do I roll over and look at my wife and it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm here. No, it's I get up and I go make coffee, and there's sometimes it gets into this ritualistic routine of what our days look like, and then I'll have to stop myself, take a deep breath, and on purpose say, today I'm going to love people. I'm going to love people. Case in point. How long have we been a youth I've been a youth pastor? Dude, forever.
Long time.
For a long time. We've been in youth ministry involved one way, shape, or another.
Like 8 years or something?
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
I love those kids.
Yeah.
Like I do. We have a very open line of communication. It's 2:00 in the morning and I'm getting text messages from these kids and stuff, and it's amazing. And it's cool and it's awesome. It's great. But then like an adult will say something or text me, and then I get irritated. Like, what, dude, just figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't know, maybe I'm talking in circles. I'm not meaning to. I think that it's very much a choice. I think what makes it difficult to love people, me. I make it difficult to love people. I think is where ultimately what I'm trying to say, to simplify it.
I think there's this understanding that's just true across the board that some people have, which is if we don't understand something, we distance ourselves from it. Right?
Absolutely.
And I think as humans, we have a hard time understanding other humans.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if their background's different, their upbringing, the way they were raised, their thought processes, all these things are so drastically different from us. We don't really understand them, so we distance ourselves. And it's really hard to love from a distance.
Very much
right?
so. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll say this, like I have said that you come off intense because you have and you do, and you could totally tell that's something that you've worked on, but that's not. But
passion.
you're not hard for me to love, partially because I understand some things about you that other people might not.
Yeah.
Or I know some things about you that other people might not. And then not only that, but there is a place and a time where that intensity is warranted and needed, and you're able to deliver that in a way that I could never. Like it's not to be, and I'm not trying to just, compliment you up and down. I'm just saying like being intense isn't always a bad thing. But for somebody to not understand that intensity might make it hard for them to love you.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Right?
No. Yeah.
And so kind of going back, I guess as you were talking, I was thinking that because I was like, how come you're easy for me to love? Because you are. Well, I understand. I have an understanding of you, I think.
Yeah. Right.
Not that I have a full understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
And I think maybe other people might not. And for people in general, I think when we can kind of understand their preference or their perspective, where they're coming from, I think that it makes it easier to love.
I think this guy right here is the easiest person to love I've ever met.
Yeah, look at that face. Look at that face.
This guy's
look at that face.
I wanted to say this, and Josh hates when I do this kind of stuff, but this is the honest truth. In these youth conferences, like, we'll have a lot of good speaking, but where it really rubber meets the road is like afterwards when I see you and Chelsea in the corner with a student for an hour and a half afterwards, weeping with them. That is leadership. That is caring. That is ministering. That is real life situation where a need needs to be met. And in those moments when I've personally seen that happening, I'm like, there it is.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like right there. And so, that's awesome. And I love that.
That didn't mean for this to turn into the Sumner counseling session.
You know what else Josh is really good at?
Yeah.
Shut up.
True.
In our new segment, what is Josh good at?
Anyways, no, but seriously, and I can say that with these three of us, these two men to my right and to my left, it is very easy to love both of you. If anybody is going to get in an argument, it's going to be me and Aaron. If that happens, it would definitely be us. But it would be
only because Dave doesn't speak his mind.
It's fun to watch.
I don't think, has it ever got like really, really intense?
Never.
No, I think it's been a couple of times like on the edge, but not where.
I don't know,
but I don't even know if it's that, because I think both of us, the lives that we've lived, the jobs that we've had, all of that kind of stuff.
For me, my perspective. And we're really letting people in.
Yeah.
My perspective is
love.
there will be times where I will disagree with you, but I will never not respect you.
Oh, 100%.
I will never
absolutely.
not love you.
Yeah.
Like you will always be who you are to me, which is held in high esteem. There's so much respect there that even in our disagreements, that's part of why we can have those disagreements openly, is because I'm secure in our relationship.
Oh yeah.
Have you said something like, first of all, if I were to ever get upset, it'd be for like 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm not going to stay upset. I don't have time
it's
to.
Not, I don't. So, but you can't. I would not want to work with somebody that I just constantly agree with it all day, every day, because then you're not getting anything done.
No,
you're just the same. And so, I think it's part of what helps us to be balanced. We hear each other's perspective coming from totally different places, and then somewhere in the middle we find progress and success and productivity.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I never even view it as like a negative thing.
No, I don't think I've ever viewed it as a negative thing. I think that but it's just funny because even Pastor Tim has said, like, if we hire these two guys, there will be there might be something at some point. But I have the same respect for you in that way, and for Pastor Dave, to where even if there is disagreements, you can disagree in love.
Yeah.
You can have conversations.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing, going back to the love thing, that just because I disagree with you doesn't mean that I don't love you.
And doesn't mean that I'm right, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, and if I ever am like, yeah, but this, or yeah, but did you think of this, or yeah, but what if we did that? It's not doesn't mean I'm right. Like let's have those hard conversations, whatever we're talking about. And I think, I mean, there was definitely a time in my life, I don't know, 7 years ago, somewhere around there, where it would have been way more immature. It would have been way more, but my goodness, like at some point we have to grow up in the Lord, and we have to be able to and we are able to do that. We do that regularly. You know, and in that, our friendship, our brotherhood, like, we have been strengthened. But like, why? I don't know. I guess I don't like, again, I don't look at it as a negative thing. So it's
I don't necessarily look at it as a negative. I think too, and one thing I'll like almost reiterate is anytime we all come up with something, one of us three will plays devil's advocate every single time, and give every like horrible scenario that could possibly happen on the back end of it. Yeah. And if you don't, and I'll be straight up to the camera, if you don't have somebody like that in your life, you need to find somebody like that in your life. Because like you said, if we never challenged each other, if you in a marriage relationship, if you just agree about everything. Granted, it'd be really cool if we got in the car and we just knew where we were going to go eat. That would be fantastic.
Let's start there.
That would be great. But I think, man, at the end of the day, love in any way, shape, and form, whether it be people that you meet on the sidewalk, that you say you have just this genuine love of Christ, that I don't know you, but as just a human being, I have a love for you.
Yeah.
You know, I think that it's an adventure. It really is an adventure. When you really embrace what love is in your life, I think that it leads you in so many places that, I mean, to where being distant and being separate, that it just doesn't. You know?
Yeah, and I think about it in terms, because you kind of mentioned your spouse, like, and like the agreement thing. I think that's an area where I don't want to be the one that brings up the what ifs, like in marriage, like, and I don't mean that like in a funny sense, like, because I've been notorious for doing that. My wife will tell you, like, anytime she comes to me to vent or to, you know, just pour her heart out, I'm so quick to be like, well, look at the other perspective here. Well, let's look at the full story. You're looking from a very zoomed in perspective, but all of this is true. And that's an area where factually I think I'm right. Like, I think all of this is true, but in our marriage, that's not what's important. What's important, and that I'm learning is that what she is saying is what's important. Right. The thing, her being heard and feeling like she has a place where she can go, and then later on that will come out, or that will be that, you know. So I don't know, just the different dynamics of love, I guess. You know.
Yeah, Dave, teach us about love. You've been married longer than us. You've raised kids. You've got them in college. You've got them out there.
You have a wife who is madly in love with you, my friend.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street. I love her with everything. She's a good woman. Hey. Hey.
Well, we got our proverbial notepads out. So tell us, give us some pointers on love, Dave. Pastor Dave, Pastor David Dean Leroy Cox.
Hey, if we're talking about love, we got to go to the Word. I mean, that's it. You know, he said, "There's no greater love than for a man to lay down his life for his friends." Think about Saint Valentine and where Valentines came in. I mean, he laid down his life for his Savior, and I know that's
why I have
real.
That's why I have little friends, because then that's not required of me. Just kidding. But you know what I have noticed? I'm just joking, but I have noticed that my friend group is pretty small.
Mine is tiny.
I used to hang out with a lot of people and do, like, life has taken me to a place where I just like actually after work, like, I'm good not hanging out with anybody.
Yeah, I'm trying to go home.
Right?
Yeah, for real.
I don't know.
Love is one of those things. I feel like we may go into it thinking we got it going. You know, like as confident as you were going into the soda thing. And
Right.
then all of a sudden you're, not as confident in the end. But the Lord always redirects us. I feel like the Bible is our true north. And then after we've experienced something, we're like, okay, maybe I didn't handle that as well as I should. Let's see what the Word says about it. And then, but the Lord,
apply it, make changes.
yeah, my dad used to always call the Word true north, that it will always steer us to what, because, man, I mess up all the time. And I constantly need a recalibration to what is true north. And that's Jesus. So
I think I think if love was a road, it would be full of twists and turns and potholes and bridges.
Bless the broken road.
You know what I mean?
Let
me straight to you. But I think that it would be that, because I love my wife and it has never been perfect. There have been moments in my mind that I look back and like that was perfect.
Sure.
Like that was an amazing moment.
Sure.
But then as soon as that moment was over, we got a flat tire. You know what I mean? Like it's just something. It's just something like that. But I think, man, choosing to love in those moments. I think love, like we're just back to love being a choice. I know this is something that keeps being echoed and said, but man, if we're going to be the bride of Christ, and if we're going to do what we said we're going to do, and we're going to live up to the standard of the Word, and we're going to do these things, then doing it in love, and that being the foundation, is what is required. Right. To be a bride, you have to be a blushing one, full of love for your groom. Yep. Or else you're not a bride.
That's right.
And I think that in order for us as individuals, as the Office Space Podcast, as IWC Church, and like all of the things, I think that we're really going to have to choose to love beyond maybe even the small little friend group that we have, even though that I stick to that friend group, and that's kind of all that I've been doing with the process that we've been going through. But I mean, broadening the horizons of what your love represents. Yeah. Like, okay, and I'm not saying you got to go out and be everybody's best friend and include them in every aspect of your life, but maybe it's okay to let a couple more people in here and there if they've been tested, if they've been proved, and you've walked it out,
Well, that's good. Give people an opportunity to enter that group.
Absolutely.
That's good. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, do you have anything you'd like to say before we wrap this bad baby up?
Any closing thoughts?
Any closing thoughts?
No, I'm good. I think we've covered some good stuff today. I enjoyed the challenge immensely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm really looking forward to next Office Space, getting to deeply enjoy the.
See, now listen, I just had an epiphany. Like lightning striking my
I think
brain.
we're thinking having the same thought. Go ahead. I want to see if
I want to hear what you said.
Well, I just think it's amazing how Dave's attitude has completely changed from when he had to go do bus stop poetry. Look at him. Let me close up on his face here. The entire time we were driving to the bus stop, Dave was saying this. He's saying stuff like, This is so stupid. This is such a waste of time. Yeah. This is so dumb. I can't believe we're doing this.
I want to know why it was a waste of time, though. Why was that so hard to do?
It's one thing going to a bus stop and talking to people about the Lord. I feel like I'm using my life well. I'm going out here and telling people at the bus stop that I wrote some green eggs and the ham.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wasting their time. I'm wasting my time.
No.
I'm seeing you guys laughing like hysterically.
It wasn't a waste of time at all. That dude. So you have to understand. I'll flip it. I'll flip it flat up, flip on its head right now. I wonder when the last time that couple laughed was.
Hey.
No,
I wonder when the last time, with the way that they looked, and I don't mean this bad, but judging a book by its cover, when was the last time sitting at that bus stop with all of life's hurts, all of life's drama, without being presumptuous, addictions and hurts and abuse and everything that happened, when was the last time they looked at each other and had a genuine,
that's valid,
real laugh and you were able to present that to them in that moment.
Being around that kind of atmosphere a lot of my life, it's probably been a really long time. And then Pastor Dean Leroy Cox walks up and says, I want to read you a poem that I wrote. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like them in a house. And the whole time, and then this dude's just he's smoking a cigarette at the bus stop. He's going, and he's just staring him down. And then at the very end, he goes, nah, you didn't write that. just like that with that voice.
I heard that.
I heard that before.
So what
It
makes
was great.
And so now you were it's so funny that you were so excited.
But this is what I was thinking with that. Okay, this is what I was thinking. At first, I had this thought of we should get him like a Prince wig and like a puffy shirt, right? But then I had the thought, the Prince never sang the song. It was Sebastian the crab that sang the song.
It was the crab.
It was the crab. So I wonder if there's a way if we get you like a little crab mask.
Dude, you give me a crab mask. Give me a crab outfit. Go ahead. Just remember.
I'm gonna see if Red Lobster's got one on loan.
Remember, you were on the Lord's time, so you go ahead and
that's fine.
You get me whatever you want.
Time well spent. I guarantee you, he was joking with the disciples on the way from city to city.
What I will promise you, and I will promise all of you 4 viewers, is this:
4 viewers.
Nobody will be a better sport during a punishment than me.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
You give me that crab outfit.
Yeah.
And I will dance. And I will lip sync.
I can't wait.
Should he practice it a little bit?
Kiss the girl.
Oh,
it's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some time. So that being said, guys, I think we're there. I think we landed it. We're there.
I think so.
We did it. This has been another episode of Office Space. We will see you next time. Hopefully, with a lot of laughs from a man in a crab suit.
That's it. Super excited.
It's gonna be a good time.
All right.
See you next time.
Yep. 10-4.
Office Space. Office Space.
Office Space. Office Space.